All right, so Sony's press conference was, um, how can I say? It was. We'll just walk through it. So in the beginning, it was a little boring. They came up and they talked about, we got this and we got that, and then, they had, they talked about the Vita, and they said, oh yeah, we have Walking Dead 400 days or something like that. That's coming out for that, and we have Dead Nation and just a bunch of ports and whatnot. And then they also talked about the PS3. They showed trailer for Last of Us, which is coming out this week. They showed a trailer for Puppeteer, Rain. What was the other ones? Gran Turismo 6, and then from there it was pretty good. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that this was this is a conference for Sony and Vita and PS3. Everybody just wants to watch the PS4 stuff. So, and then we're like, oh yeah, okay, so PS4 must be next. PS4. No, they talked about their movies and stuff that they have, their music, and from there it was just like, oh my gosh, oh, what are they doing? And then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to bring out our third party CEO or whatever. He does the stuff with the third party stuff, and then that's when the press conference finally picked up. And just to tell you, the press conference was 2 hours long, and it was pretty long. And the Microsoft one is about an hour and a half, maybe. It was up there too, maybe an hour to hour and a half, and then they showed off a lot of the indie stuff at first. They did let's see, what was I looking at? They had the indie guys. Actually, before that they had the guys who did a game called Transistors. I think that's what it was called. It's the guys who did Bastion. And it's like, oh, this is finally the first time these guys are gonna be on their system. And I do want Bastion to come out for PS3. Hopefully they bring that out for PS3 or PS4. It doesn't really matter. Maybe PS3, maybe get the hype up for their game. But Transistor looks great. It's phenomenal. It just looks cool, just like Bastion itself. And then they had more more indies come out, and they were announcing them one by one, which is pretty cool. It was just like this. Their stage was set up, and it was just like, oh, we have, and these are the names of the guys, names of the titles that the indie guys were working on. They all came out one by one on the stage playing their game. It was like, boom, Secret Ponchos, and the guys who did, and then Don't Starve, and then Raise the Dead, then Octodad, Deadliest Catch, Outlast, Mercenary Kings, Abe's Odyssey, yes. Galaxy, and then they all just kind of line up and they were all playing the games. Like, they're like, oh yeah, these guys are we're in with the indies. You guys want to publish your stuff here. It's easy and all that. So that was pretty cool. Seeing that that push, and you can see that kind of happening during the PS3 this year and last year. You saw them trying to push indie stuff, and that's the coolest part of the fact that these games that are sometimes thrown to the wayside because you have games like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or something, these big blockbuster games, AAA games, kind of overshadow these smaller type of titles. But you'll find some pretty good games on the PSN store, Steam, Xbox Live, and they're relatively cheap. $9, 19 bucks. If I find some for $5, so that's pretty cool that they came out and did that. And then after that, they did this tech demo. Like everybody says, don't do tech demos, please. Don't do tech demos. They came out and did a tech demo. If you guys remember from the February press conference, they had the guy that came out, or they had David Cage come out and say, oh, this is rendering at blah 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 blah, and the head of the old guy. Well, that was the tech demo, and then they showed off that tech demo, and he was all serious, and he's like, oh yeah, this and this and this and this and this, and then boom, it's like this is them recording a movie, and he messed up his line. He's like, oh, I can't do that. It's pretty funny, but and then they showed that off, and then Um, it was just they're like, oh yeah, you guys could catch this, on our PlayStation Store, the rest of it, and then they moved on that to the four. Was it four? Yeah, the four exclusive from the Sony's devs, and it was pretty cool. I mean, they showed off the gameplay for like or whatever they announced from the four exclusive they announced from the February press conference. They had Knack. They showed off gameplay for that. Killzone. They showed off gameplay for that. Did we see Drive Club? Oh man, yeah, we did see Drive Club. Definitely. So we saw a little bit of Drive Club, and it looked pretty cool. It was them racing, and then you see in the back of the tail, it was all the our the usernames and whatnot, and the picture of them. So we'll see how that integrates into, if that's real or is that just a CG. Then they showed off, which is probably one of my favorite games, from the PS3, or favorite series from the PS3, Infamous. Second Son that showed off some gameplay for that, and it's probably the one I want to talk about the most because, man, that smoke looks beast. Also, when he went into a vent, and then he went to the vent as smoke and came out on top of it. Oh my gosh, I was like, oh. And then he disappeared, and he's fighting this guy, and then he dissolves into smoke, and then goes right in front of the guy, and then smashes his face in his knee. Man, that Infamous is going to look great, and play great, hopefully. But that's one of my games I'm more excited for, and they said that it's going to be out Q1 of 2014. So it's not a launch title; it's a launch window title. They said that Killzone, Knack, and Drive Club are coming out in those as a launch title. So I'm definitely gonna pick up those three at least, and then maybe a fourth or fifth game. I want to pick up like 4 games. So and then they showed off what else did they show off? They showed off the watch demo gameplay, which was pretty cool. I definitely, as from when they showed off that last year, I'm in love with that game. The game just looks, phenomenal. Just being able to hack things, and then they showed off like, somebody helping. This lady was on her iPad or something, or whatever it was. It was a tablet, and she was like hitting up these, turning off lights and helping him as he was playing through. So that was pretty cool. Then they showed off trailer for Mad Max, and it's made by Avalanche, who's done the Just Cause guys or Just Cause games, which we'll see what happens. They make pretty good games anyways, but we'll see where the direction that goes. They just showed a quick trailer of that, and that was it. And then the name popped out. It's like, oh, Mad Max. We're like, oh yeah. Then what else did they show off? Elder Scrolls Online. They showed off that. That's going to be on PS4 and Xbox One and PC. Man, I am blinking out here. It is 2 in the morning here. Ooh. Okay. Oh, okay. One more before we go into my special games. They also showed off a game by Santa Monica and what are they? Red Dawn, or is it Red Dawn? I gotta click this real quick. Ready at Dawn. Red Dawn. Wow, that's that movie. And so they showed off that trailer, and we still don't know what it is, but it has werewolves, and it has these guys. It's like a steampunk area, but it looks like it's back in like 1800s, and they still have horses and carriages and all that, but they have like machine guns and stuff. So it's still a little weird, but we'll see. Hopefully we see more at Gamescom, or maybe it won't even come out until next year, like late next year, and we'll probably see more at like PAX or something. But we're still skeptical about it. But usually they make pretty good games. Already announced. So and then so now after that, they went into the Square Enix is on the set, and it was Tetsuya Nomura wasn't even on. It wasn't even there, so they had like a trailer that pops in. He's like, "Yeah, I have a special trailer for you guys," and then they showed it off, and my head was like, and they showed off Final Fantasy versus 13, and they showed off a little bit from the trailers that they had before, and then they also showed off the gameplay, which looked pretty awesome. I'm excited for that. It's whatever you saw from the trailer before. That's the type of gameplay it is, but much faster. Because you can see him like using his sword, and his sword seems to be what teleports him, maybe. Because he would like throw his sword at a guy, and then he'll teleport right in front of the sword and grab. Or maybe that's just because it's easier to do. Throw the sword, the guy stabs him, teleport to the sword, grab the sword. So we don't know yet. And then you see him like tossing the sword to a ship, and then he like teleports to the ship, and then we some more cutscenes, and then a few scenes from the first trailer they showed where the guys were like rappelling down and he's like cutting the ropes. That was pretty cool. But then we did see it feels like maybe it's not done yet, but it felt like it was a little. It has some hitches there, like it was slowdowns and whatnot. But I was totally excited for that. And then at the end, it's like Final Fantasy versus 13, and then you hear Noctis and the guy talking in the background, and he says something about 15, and then you see the name break up, and he goes Final Fantasy 15, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I called that one. Well, of course, everybody knew that already. So, and that's probably the easiest bet, with Final Fantasy 13, the 13 series. 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns. I'm pretty sure they wanted to stay as far as I wouldn't say it was a failure for them, but they already have 3 games in that realm. Maybe they say, oh, maybe we should step back a bit. But I'm excited for that because they showed off a lot more than they had. But it's probably just assets from the PS3 version, and they just kind of just moved it over to the PS4 because they were in the development phase for a while. And then after that, he's like, oh yeah, I got one more trailer for you. And then boom, you see the Kingdom Hearts, and everybody's like, oh, maybe it's just an announcement for Kingdom Hearts 2 HD, since we have the first one coming out soon. And then and then you see the Kingdom Hearts come out, and then it has the 3 lines. We're like, oh my gosh! I was pretty excited for that. And I'm a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts series. Fortunately, I only played 1, 2. A little bit of Chains of Memory, and a little bit of Birth by Sleep. So I need to catch up on the other ones. But if I had a DS or a 3DS, I would. But yeah, I was pretty excited for that. That was what the fanboy in me won the conference. That's all they could have would have announced, and I would have been like, yeah, I'm PS4. Throw that money at Sony. But and then they also showed off after that. They also showed off Assassin's Creed, which it kind of broke down as they were going. So, and it looked like Assassin's Creed with better ship battles, maybe. I don't know. It's Assassin's Creed. What can I say? I don't know if I'll buy that game at launch. There's a few games I want to get before that. And we already have 4 of those titles locked up already. So, actually 3 of those titles already locked up. Either 3 exclusive and then maybe 2 third-party stuff. But we'll see what happens. Then they, what else did they do? They had the Bungie. Oh man, how did I forget this? Holy smokes! They also showed the box. Wow, that should have been the first thing I talked about. Yowza. I guess it's that time, huh? So they showed off the box, and it looked I mean, you can check it on IGN, game trailers, and all those gaming websites. They'll have it up. Like somebody said, it looked like 2 PS2s, and just like and like made a sandwich. And and then 2 PS2s equals PS4. So I guess, but they did show it off. And they're like, oh, this is how it looks like. And then that's pretty much it. And they're like, oh yeah, now we can finally put a picture to what the PS4 looks like. And it looks. And I just watched the little video by the the IGN guys, PlayStation crew. They're talking about how big the PS4 is. It said it's probably as big as the PlayStation Slim, the one before the newest one. So it said it's probably about almost the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. But so I was expecting it to be a lot bigger, maybe, but it looks pretty small from what and people are just saying maybe it's gonna have heat trouble, but we'll see what happens. And so what else can we get into? Oh yeah, before we talked about the price and all that little details there, they showed off Destiny, the first gameplay, and verdict. I love it. There's really two games that really surprised me the most. There was one game from Ubisoft. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what that game's called. It's like the District. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot about it. And this is me talking about how excited I am about the game, but that game and Destiny was probably one of my, I was skeptical. I can't even talk right now. It's so late. Skeptical about Destiny because I wasn't a big fan of Halo, and I'm like, oh, maybe this is gonna be another Halo type of game. But when they showed that off, I was pretty excited. It's like Borderlands, but with a persistent world, I guess, from what I can see, because from what they were doing, maybe they had different roles, like a tank class, a sniper class, which is probably like long range, deal a lot of damage from far distance, and they have like a middle class and like a medic, maybe. Who knows what they're gonna play as, but. That one, but when they showed that off, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get this game now. So Destiny is definitely on my radar. And then the ending was pretty cool. How, if you remember, like something from like Guild Wars 2, where you have the open world thing, open world fights you can do, events, and then as they walked out from where they were in, like the building, and then the ship flies by, and this it popped up and said open world event or something like that, and they were like, okay, let's go tackle that. And then, as they got there, there's already like maybe a group of people fighting them already. I think those, pretty sure were, other players and not NPCs. So that was pretty cool. I mean, Destiny looks really good. I'm pretty hyped for that now. At first, I'm like, oh, I might just wait on it and see how it looks and stuff. And when they showed it off, I'm like, yeah, well, the first time they showed off the trailer, I'm like, yeah, we'll see what happens again. And then when they showed off that the gameplay, I'm like, I gotta get it. And if it's, I keep saying first-person shooters. I'm getting tired of first-person shooters. As long as it has some kind of RPG element to it, or like a persistent world. And hopefully, Destiny is a persistent world. It needs to have that to at least kind of rope me in a bit. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then we have the PS3 pricing, and all. Actually, before that we have the. Okay, so Sony came out and they're like, yeah, we're not going to have DRM. We're not. You can sell your games to, to people. You can sell it to people, stores, blah blah. Lend out your games and all that. And the crowd just went wild. It was pretty funny and pretty cool. And literally, that was what everybody was waiting for Microsoft to say, or to not say, but to kind of, because they already said that before, and it kind of. Go into more, but then everybody was waiting for Sony to say, "Oh, maybe Sony's going to do it too," because these publishers are not, if they're doing it, then it'll be pretty tough, for the publishers to side with one company, and then it came out and says no DRM, no, you can sell your used game, no 24-hour check. And all that, and the crowd just went, wow, this is the coolest thing I've seen. And everybody was all like, and this is not even about a game announcement too. This is about all of the little tidbits and stuff, and everybody just went wild. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was pretty cool. And then after that, they went to okay, now everybody's like, oh, maybe you know Sony tends to mess things up. They did mess up in the beginning, so I guess that's where they messed up the most at. Was the beginning. It was slow, it was boring and whatnot. But everybody's still skeptical, like, oh man, that price is probably gonna be like the same as 360 or I mean not the same as 360, but same as Xbox One or maybe more expensive. They came out and says, yeah, $399, and everybody just went wild again. I'm like, oh my gosh, and that is, I called that one wrong too. I was thinking maybe $450 and for my prediction, but $399. That was one of my predictions too. I was really just kind of going between $399 and $450 because like it has to be Sony, and they're gonna F it up, and they're gonna do something stupid like that. And I chose the $450 one, but I'm glad that it's $399, and that's perfect price. Got mine pre-ordered already. I went to Amazon and just click pre-ordered. So and then they're also talking about PlayStation Plus, and you're gonna, for PS4 you're gonna get the Drive Club free the first month of PlayStation Plus. So if you guys have PlayStation Plus during that time, download it, or now you don't even have to download it. Just click, purchase it or whatever you do, and then it'll pop up in your download list, and you don't even have to download it. And when they take that away, you can still always download it because it's on your download list, as long as you keep your PSN Plus membership up. So then they also had they snuck in a little word, a little sentence on their little PowerPoint sheet, and they're like $5 for online, and they're, I don't think anybody caught that, but I know I saw that. I was like, oh, they're going to charge for online, so that sucks. That really does suck. So they're going to charge probably $60, 50 or $50 online, and for kind of like what Microsoft does. So that's going to be probably taken away now. And but if you're a PSN Plus member, you don't have to worry too much about it. I am one, so I'm not too bent out of shape. But for the people who aren't PSN Plus members, or doesn't really want to pay for for playing multiplayer, at least, well, not at least, but definitely multiplayer. Yeah, that really just sucks. But what can we do? It's how that company works. Just like I forgot who said it, but they're like, yeah, it's kind of that their servers probably cost a lot, and they have to charge for it because that's just how it is. But I say it still sucks though. It still sucks. But and that's I think that's pretty much it. I don't think there's, and they said something about the cloud being activated on 2014, so it's going to let you don't quote me on this, but it's going to let you download PS3 games onto your PS4 and Vita and all of that, Vita games, all that stuff. So we have to wait until 2014 for that. I don't know if it's going to be 2014 or 2013 for like maybe just PS4 streaming stuff from Gaikai and all that, but what they said was you could probably stream your PS3 games and all that from the cloud or Gaikai in 2014. And that's pretty much it for the conference. And then if like I said, the conference itself was pretty rough in the beginning. It was just kind of like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Oh my gosh. And then after that it was gone. The games came in, and I was kind of like, oh my gosh, games, indie games, blockbuster games, AAA games, all that. Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts. So if I was to give a grade from that, I think I'll have to go with a B. It's going to be lower than Microsoft, because Microsoft came in and just banged it out, like boom, 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 and they just had a better conference. But will I be buying a PS4? Hell yeah, I am. No doubt about that. And the fanboy myself would give it an A+, because of Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's it. You could have shown me that, and I would have been sold already. So, but being rational, you have to say it was a good conference, but it had abysmal start, and then a really good ending or middle to the end. So after they got past the Sony entertainment, music, and stuff like that, and after that it was just like, oh, okay, I get it. It's good. Okay, so, but that's pretty much it. That's my reactions and a little bit of grading for E3. We have Nintendo going in maybe like 4 or 5 hours here, maybe, and I might be missing that one because that's way too late for me. I don't get up until late, anyways. But hopefully, you guys enjoyed my little rant. Well, it's not a little; it's a big rant, and this is how I talk like when I'm about to go to sleep. I just start talking. So hopefully, everyone enjoys it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more, video game gameplays and all that. Doing reviews. I probably will have to lie and not do the Metro review because E3 is too much fun and too much stuff to even get anything done. So like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like my videos and whatnot, and don't forget to add me on PSN if you guys want to add me. My PSN ID is Omegabalmung. It's the same for Steam. I don't play on Steam too much until I order my computer parts, and then we'll see what happens. But anyways, everybody have a great night, and I'll see everybody in the Nintendo Direct in the morning. Peace.